What's up, Facebook? It's Constance Carter. On a Saturday, on my way to the gym, and as I was praying, being reflective, I was thinking about all the commentary that I've seen as of late, with the Botham Jean case, and just seeing everything. And I haven't really weighed in on it. I haven't discussed my opinion on it because it happens so often. I mean, it's a bizarre case, but it happens so often that you never become numb to it, but you're just sort of, you're just sort of taking it all in. And I've gotten to a point where, like, I'm so tired of logging on to social media and seeing in some way where a young black male has been brutalized for one reason or another. And that's because I have black sons. I have 4 kids, 3 kings and a queen with greatness in the plan, like I say. I have 3 boys. And it is absolutely terrifying to think of the world that they are going into, an unforgiving world that they're going into. We raise our kids to be respectful, respect adults. You don't get in grown people's business. Do the right thing. And my boys are very, very respectful. Even my middle, he's trying to be cool and he's going through his little phase and his little 8th grade phase. But at the end of the day, I have really good kids and they're very respectful. But it's terrifying to think that when they go out of the house or when they get a little bit older, what's going to happen, or the experiences that happen because they are deemed to be threatened or threatening just because of the color of their skin. Like, they can walk down the street with their pants pulled up to their chest and still be considered a threat just because their melanin. Do you understand how crazy that is? Just because their melanin is darker. Even though they are respectful, responsible, good human beings, it is terrifying. And I pray for them all the time. I pray for guidance, and I pray on, oh God, I'm getting choked up, and I don't do the emotional thing. I don't know what's going on here. There's a breakthrough. No, I'm kidding. But, it's just terrifying. It's terrifying to think that my kids can be, stopped and frisked because of what they look like. It's terrifying to think. I seen one time there was a kid, there were 2 kids. They were riding bikes, by my job. And it was a white boy and a black boy, maybe about 7th or 8th grade. They're riding bikes together. A police came and stopped the black boy and detained him. They were both riding the bike together. Those types of things. And at that time, my boys were really small. But those types of things that these kids have to go through. And when we talk about, things like white privilege and how white people just don't understand what white privilege means, especially poor white people, right? People who don't have a lot of money. They don't understand the privilege that they're born with just by virtue of the color of their skin. The privilege is that you don't have to worry about walking out your house and whether or not you're going to get pulled over by the police. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to be detained or beaten or brutalized just by virtue of your skin color. That's what white privilege is. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with elitism. It has everything to do with just basic human rights. And to think that you can do everything right, like this young man, do everything right, be in your apartment, eating ice cream, chilling, and somebody can come in and they can kill you. Granted, she may not have meant to kill him, but somebody can come in and kill you, and then you are the predator. The fact that he smoked a little weed was brought up, and it was totally irrelevant. He was in his house, So, and you didn't hear anything about, the all of her text messages and all the stuff that she had done until the trial. That wasn't brought before the media. But somehow this big black guy who was an accountant who was in his own house is somehow the villain in all this. And this narrative plays over and over and over and over again. When you think about the young man or Walter Scott, who was running away from the police because he's scared and he gets shot in the back. When you think about, I forget the guy's name, at Walmart, carrying around, a toy gun from Walmart, and he gets shot. And you have these white men coming into Walmart with guns and they don't get shot. That's what white privilege is. You know, when you have 12-year-old Tamir Rice, and I look at him and he reminds me of my son when he was 12 years old. He reminds me of my 11-year-old, thinking he's outside just playing and he gets shot and no accountability. That is scary. That is really scary. So I just wanted to share with you, you know, kind of how I was feeling just being a black mom of black sons, and the fear that we have every single day when they leave us, when they go out into the world, is a scary, scary thing. And so, damn, I'm hard. I don't do that. So for those of you who don't understand what it's like or who can't empathize or sympathize with what we're going through, imagine, and I know, I forget the lady who did that, the white lady with the blue, the one who does the blonde hair, blue eye theory. And she asked, you know, a room full of white people, you know, you can say that, you know, racism is dead and, you know, post black president, all that stuff. But there is not too many white people, very little, probably none. They love our culture, but they would not want to trade places with a black person and have to go through what we go through. And that's part of your privilege. And that's part of the thing that you don't understand. Oh, I don't got no privilege. You don't see me having nothing. Oh, what about affirmative action and all the things that had to be put in place for black people just to have not even an equal footing, but the things that we have, the barriers that we have to go through, the obstacles that we have to overcome just by virtue of our skin, even though in this country, we've been the ones brutalized. We've been the ones put in these precarious situations. We've been ostracized. We've been beaten, you know, maimed. You know, we're just a few generations away from slavery. The results, we have post-traumatic slave syndrome all in our DNA. But just by virtue of the things that we've gone through, and somehow our boys are considered the predators, is mind-boggling. Experiments that have gone on with, you know, black people. If you've ever read the book by Harriet, I forget her name, but it's called Medical Apartheid. And it's not even just the Tuskegee experiments where they experimented on black men, but the experiments that they've done since slavery to today that they do on black people that you probably don't even know about, that they continue to do to brutalize black people. And we're just, you know, we're just resilient. We keep forgiving. We keep moving, we keep marching, we keep doing all these things, but yet we keep being brutalized. And it is scary. It is very scary. So I just wanted to share that with you, you know, just about being a black mom, just from a black mom's perspective. You know, like I said, my sons can walk around with they pants pulled up to their chest. And it doesn't matter how much money I have. It doesn't matter how much money they have. They're still considered a threat. And that is a very, very scary thing for a mother to think about when she's sitting her child out there in the world, the things that can happen just by virtue of the color of their skin. That's all. I'm out.